What? Oh, the three weirdest dreams I've had. Oh, the first dream. In the first dream, I was part of an. Okay, so there were like storms that ravaged these cities, I guess, or every city. We lived in like New York City, or I guess it was some city with a lot of skyscrapers, and there were different like tribes of people that lived in every building, and you can't go outside because all of the whole city is flooded, and it's like stormy and dark outside perpetually. But people live in these buildings, and what happens is that like every week or every day or every year or something, the water would rise a little bit, and like as the water rose, you would have less resources because you'd have less floors to like farm and do stuff in the building, and so you some people would need to die. So I was part of the group of people that was tasked with helping all of us move upstairs. So what would happen is we would get an order. Every single time the water levels were to rise, we would have to go downstairs and kill like 10% of the people that were left so that there'd be enough for everybody like going up floors. And I remember that like ideologically, this seemed like incredibly immoral to me. And I remember asking like I don't know if he was the leader of a group of people, I was like, hey, like this is like really fucked up. Like, why are we killing these people? And then the guy posed the question to me. He's like, well, what's wrong with killing them in their sleep? The water could rise. We'll have them starve later or drown. But if we kill them in their sleep, they basically never know what's even happening, right? We kill them instantaneously. They don't feel any pain. They're sleeping anyway. Like, it's not like they're going to know when they're sleeping if they wake up or not. And I didn't have an argument for him when I responded to that. It was really hard for me to respond to that. And when I woke up, it like hardcore made me reconsider my position on pro-life. That like if somebody's not having a conscious experience, it's hard to say whether or not ending the next one is good or bad. So like for a fetus that doesn't have a conscious experience yet, like, well, who cares if you abort it? It's not like it doesn't know one way or another. Like, even if it was a human, it wouldn't know. But it also means maybe you could kill sleeping people too. That's a really, really, really hard one. That made me like dramatically reconsider my view on abortion. And now I fall like 48-52. Like I fall on the side of being like pro-choice at the moment because of that. As weird as that was. The second. Oh my God. I had the worst dream last night. I had a dream that I actually got Eminem onto my stream to do an interview. And we started, and he was really happy. He was like, oh, wow, like, you know, music and stuff. Like, I don't normally get to have in-depth interviews on, like, my actual music. And I'm like, oh, yeah, I'm really excited to talk about this. And I was trying to ask him, I wanted to ask him the question of, like, how did it feel like writing on drugs and off drugs? Because like, how was your writing of like words so much better on drugs? That's crazy. But the way that I phrased it pissed him off so much he hung up the call and left because it made it sound like I thought he was shit now. And I feel like I'd lost out on a big opportunity, and I was really upset. Oh my God, I had this weird dream that I was like Uber driving people around for TwitchCon. And I guess I wasn't a streamer or anything. And one of the people that I kept picking up was 21, but he didn't ask me to go to like TwitchCon. He just wanted to go like rob people. So I was like his driver.
21, like 21 Savage?
Yes.
Oh.
And when we were driving around, every time you get back in the car, I would turn on that one song a lot, and I'd be like, "Yo, check this out. I like this track." And he'd be like, "Cool." And we were just really stupid. There you go. Yeah, thanks. That was my Dan moment. You ever have a dream that's like so intense and so real about like another person that you wake up and you like miss them? You wake up and you're like, oh fuck, I'm like not dating that person, or I'm not like near that person or whatever. And it's like the saddest thing in the world. I had this insane dream that I was I had this insane dream that I went to like the movies or something, and when I came out with Melina, fucking AOC was there, and we started chatting, and she was like, oh shit, I play RuneScape Hardcore Iron Man 2, and she like took me to like all these insane camping spots, and we like chatted a lot, and we got along a ton, and we were like camping these, it was like green dragons for like bones. It was in like another dimension. It was so crazy. And then she drove me home at the end of the day, and I woke up, and I was like, oh my God. She was perfect. The second one, I think I had this one a little bit after my second accidental ego death. And I started to have like, just because those experiences are so like mentally altering. The second dream that I had was I was like a schizophrenic person. No, not schizophrenic. I had DID, dissociative identity disorder, would be what it would be called. I had multiple personalities, but I knew I was crazy. Okay, so I was aware that I had like 3 or 4 different lives. And I managed them all. Like I had different outfits for each of my personalities. Like I had different jobs for each of my personalities. And like it was okay. So like in one personality, like I went to a store and I worked as like a gas station, or it might have been a record store or a gas station owner. In another store, or in another personality, I worked at another store. It was like a record store, gas station. In the third personality, I researched bees, I think, for like that infected people's homes or that like infested people's homes. I think something like that. I was like a biologist researcher, something weird. I don't remember. It was really weird. But but I was totally aware that I was fucking crazy. I knew that I had multiple personalities, but like I managed it well. Like, okay, cool. Like I have multiple personalities. Like I just need to make sure that like for tomorrow the B guy has his research ready, and that would be okay. And I'd be totally into multiple different personalities every day. Each of my 3 personalities fell in love with a different girl that came into the areas that I worked, and the weird thing was that the girls that were into me were into different personalities than the ones that fell in love with them. So for instance, like when I was like the music shop like employee, I super fell in love with like this alt scene girl. This is like the one that I remember the most. And she was super not into me. She blew me off. She said I was a fucking loser for working at a store, that I was like whatever, super asshole, really bitchy, really fucking rude to me. But on the personality day where I was where I was the bee researcher, if I was like hanging out in that music store, the alt scene girl was super into me. She's like, oh my God, like growing up, I loved bees. I think it's so cool what you're doing. And I would like talk to her, but like I didn't have a huge crush on that girl, like as that personality. I just didn't, I don't know. I just didn't feel anything for her. And I remember at the end of this dream, it was when I was in the gas station persona and I interacted with that girl again, because I think she came into a gas station. She treated me like shit there too. I remember thinking that I thought it was really funny that I had multiple personalities and I interact so differently on every day with everybody because of my different personalities, and I was crazy. But every single girl that I had a crush on was the exact same way because they had totally different personalities depending on who they were interacting with. But I was the one that was crazy, and all of them were considered like perfectly sane. And that was like a really weird thought. I don't know why. This was like a really weird dream, and I woke up like taking that away from me, and I just thought it was like a really, I don't know if there's like, I don't know if necessarily there's anything like profound there. But I just remember that like really irritated me in the dream, where I thought I was the crazy person, but all of these people are so different depending on who they're interacting with. It's like really fucking weird. I actually had, I think it was when I was fighting with Vosh over the Rittenhouse stuff. Somebody correct me if I'm wrong, but I had a dream that I walked into a restaurant or something, and I saw like Vosh, Hassan, Tim Pool, like all these political people like sitting down and like chilling with each other. And when I walked in, I was like, I thought you guys like all hated each other. Like, what's going on? And then all of them like looked at me and kind of laughed and like, dude, we're just like doing that for YouTube. Like, you don't actually believe any of this shit, do you? And I felt like so stupid. And it's always made me really paranoid sometimes when I argue with people online. Because like, I don't know if these guys, like when I argue with Vosh sometimes, or I used to, I have this feeling, it's like, do you actually believe this? Or is this like all a show for your audience? And I'm just like the only loser here that actually believes what I'm saying. And now I feel like a dumbass because like everybody else knows it's just a show. That's like a huge paranoia that I've always, I guess I developed after that thought. I don't understand how I totally missed this creature in my last playthrough, and now I've seen 2 of them. Can you tell us about the Lawrence Southern League stream? Oh my God, I had such a huge dream involving her. That was so weird. I got like this weird message from her last night. She's like, oh, we should play League sometime. I was like, okay. And then when I went to sleep, I had a dream that I was living back in Omaha, and then Lauren Southern and her husband moved in next to me and Nathan. And it was like, Jesus Christ, that was what a crazy dream. It's how strange.
Like, I still occasionally get the dream that everybody who's been to college gets, where you've like forgotten that you signed up for a class and you're halfway through the semester and there's a test tomorrow.
Oh,
like,
if it makes you feel
God,
better. I think when I was around 28, I think I stopped getting those dreams. So it only took me, I think, like 7 years out of college. Yeah.
I'm 32 now, and I'm further out of college. So does that just imply that I'm a late bloomer, or
what? You might be fucked forever.
It would make me feel better if you were like, oh, it just happened last year. It's just give it a year. It's going to happen.
Nope. Yeah, those if
That's
honest,
nuts.
understandably, or I mean, that's the only trauma I think I've ever had in my life. Which sounds silly to call it trauma, but it's the only thing that comes close to like you wake up genuinely. Oh no, actually, there's a second one. But yeah, that was the first one. You wake up like in a cold sweat. You're like, oh shit, I have something due today, and it's like I'm been out of college for like 7 years. That's impossible. How am I like so stressed out over this?
Well, have you ever been to therapy?
A couple times.
You don't realize how traumatized you are until a therapist says that everything in your life is trauma.
That sounds like some bullshit. Okay, I ain't got time for that.
Okay.
The only other thing that I feel like a little traumatized by is the I'll be having a dream or something, and I'll get like really mad, and I guess I'll accidentally call somebody like the N word or something, and I'm like, oh my god, I'm gonna get banned on everything, and I try to delete my VODs, and then I wake up and I'm like checking my emails, and it's like, did that actually happen? Am I getting banned? What the fuck? Like, yeah, that's the only other.
That's kind of adorable.
I think that's a streamer thing.
That's
I've talked to other streamers who've had that where they wake up and they're
fucked
like, did I say something and I'm getting banned or whatever? Where like everybody has that worry that you're like randomly getting perma banned off your fucking platforms. Yeah.
Oh my god, dude, I have.
And then the third weird dream that I have, I've been talking with Dan, I think, and somebody else where I memed a lot about sleep paralysis. And I don't remember this was like a normaler dream, way shorter. I was just running around the superstore killing people, and I remember that I shot some dude completely dead. I blew his head up completely, and all he had left was like his fucking like the base of his like brain stem. And all I remember thinking was that oh yeah, an Aristo, yeah. And all I remember thinking was like, man, I just blew this whole dude's fucking head up except for this little part of his brain. I wonder what his conscious experience is like right now. I wonder what it would be like to feel that. And as soon as I thought that, I woke up, but I woke up and I had sleep paralysis, and it was the scariest thing in my life. Not as scary as the mushroom trip, but it was super scary to experience it. It was very short, probably like 3 seconds, but I thought I was dead. And the scariest part was I always figured like if I had sleep paralysis, at least I could see what was going on, but my eyes were closed and I couldn't open them. So I woke up, but I couldn't move my body at all. And I had the experience of like, holy shit, I feel like I'm kind of like on my shroom ego death where I'm totally disconnected from my body. And then I started to like hyperventilate super hard. But after like 2 or 3 seconds, like I woke up and I could move. And it was like, oh my God, it was so fucking terrifying. That's the only time I've ever had sleep paralysis, literally my entire fucking life though. And it's never happened before.
Right now.
Yeah. Holy shit, I had the worst fucking dream that I got bit by a fucking zombie. And I was going to the hospital to try to there's like a really simple like vaccine that you get so you don't turn into a zombie. But my doctor was fucking Mr. Moot, and he kept trolling me, and I could feel myself like turning into a fucking zombie. And he wouldn't give me the fucking vaccine because he thought it was a stupid fucking meme.
Oh my god.
I was so fucked.
Moot,
Dude, when I
why?
woke up, I was actually so fucking pissed off. It was like, oh my God.
Have you talked to him about this? Have you
No.
forgiven him yet?
I literally just woke up like
Oh my
an hour
god.
ago.
I had this stupid fucking dream. I had a dream that I went onto Amazon and everything was fucking insanely cheap. And I ordered a tank and a boat because they were like $100. And I'm like, I'm never gonna have a chance in my life to get a fucking tank and a boat for this cheap because of the coronavirus. Everything is super cheap. And I ordered it, but since the coronavirus is going around, nobody wanted to deliver it. So I had to walk from LA to China. I guess it was walkable. I don't know how. But I had to walk to go get my tank. And I had like people with me. And I don't remember, but like every fucking time we stopped at a hotel, people wanted to debate about Bernie or Biden, the people that I was with. And I kept getting really frustrated because like the people were emailing me back saying, if you don't come pick up your tank and your boat soon, we're going to give them away because you're not coming. And every time we just stop, every day we would stop to sleep at a hotel, they would keep debating people about like Trump or Biden and Bernie. It was so fucking annoying. Holy shit. And then I woke up, so I never got my tank or my boat.
It's kind of a good question. I had a crazy fucking dream, okay? There's this girl that I'm trying to fuck, okay? She is unbelievably hot. And everybody else agrees that she's hot. But she does this weird thing where she tries to abduct other people's kids. So like I'm walking around trying to hit on this girl, but anytime like a kid walks by, she takes out like a fucking rope or whatever and tries to run and lasso the kid. And like other parents in the neighborhood know that this girl, this very hot girl, is running around the neighborhood trying to like abduct children. I don't know why, if she fucking eats them or what, because I never let her abduct them. This is Where is this going? Nowhere. It's just a really intense dream I had. I don't know why. I think at one point, me, Dan, and Mr. Mooten are all talking to each other, and they agree with me. Mr. Mooten and Dan are both like, yeah, that girl's extremely hot. But like while we're talking about her, we like literally have to like run and catch her because there's another child that's like running down the street that she's like trying to lasso, like it's fucking Red Dead Redemption or some shit. I don't know why. Wait, there's one more.
I had a dream last night where you and I went into a cafe taking refuge from a stormy night. We had an enlightening and insightful discussion about modesty and confidence. Thanks for that conversation, Destiny.
Oh, well, no problem, dude.